love, man.
It's a good school.
So here's what's going to happen. Tamara is going to start, and one of us will pray, and then I'll introduce you from what I know about you. And then you can just do your own thing, tell your testimony, your story, whatever you got planned for about 10, 15 minutes. And then we'll open it up for questions. If they're quiet, I'll go over the ones that I sent you. They were okay?
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Cool. So worked out today. Yeah.
Yep. Just got done and yep. So hanging out for the rest of the day and hanging out with buddies, and hopefully it won't rain so we can have a bonfire. So we can. That's been our quarantine thing we've been doing.
So do you live with a bunch of baseball players or roommates?
I do. Yeah, I have 4 other baseball teammates. So.
Hey, you know who Tamara's been working with and been helping us out?
Who's that?
Carson Ballou, baby.
Oh yeah, good guy.
Love Carson. He's awesome.
He is a top-notch guy.
He's a dude.
Now, where's your brother at now? Where's Matthew at?
He actually just bought a house in LaGrange.
Where's he working?
He's working up in near Atlanta, kind of near the airport. And I think he's trying to get a job.
Is he still working with Mike?
No. He's I don't even know the name of the company. But I think he's trying to get a job lower, like closer to LaGrange, Noonan area.
Is he married?
About to be.
Okay. There you go. About to be.
Yeah.
So might as well be.
He's pretty much been married for 2 years. Yeah.
So tell me the story.
Liberty, I think, is one of the schools that has reached out to Ryan.
Liberty's
in Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I forgot what I was going to ask you now. Who knows?
So I'm guessing you're still in Noonan.
Who knows? So you haven't come home at all. You're coming home to see your mom in a couple weeks.
Probably closer to July.
Just staying up there working, huh?
Yes, sir.
Now, do you get another year?
I do. Yeah, we all get that.
Everybody gets another year.
Correct.
Good for you.
Yep.
And yes, Mason, he's still in Noonan.
Yeah, still in. Are you in Noonan too, or? Yeah. Yep.
I am. Mm-hmm.
What I was gonna ask you. You said we have a California group. Are they joining us soon?
They will. They'll be popping on because the time is 2:30, and so they usually will start hopping on around then.
What part of California?
Sacramento, Elk Grove area. Yep.
So did you get to play any at all this year? Did they play?
Yeah, we played 17 or so games.
Okay.
And then
done. So far this year, how did you do?
We did all right. We were off to a slow start. It was just slow start and then season ended.
We
really couldn't heat things up. We didn't really have any time. But yeah, it was good. I mean, looking back on it, our record wasn't what we wanted, but we still got to spend time with the guys before it all ended. So.
Good. I see. Coach Gilmore posted when this whole thing happened. Mm-hmm. That he said he said national champion, state champions, aka UCF. So you can claim that title too.
Yeah, you can.
Atlantic Sun champions.
You can. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy what all is.
You're muted, Tamara.
Are you in speaker view or gallery view, Mason? Up in the right corner. Just make sure you're on gallery view so you can kind of see everybody.
I'm in speaker.
Okay. Click it so you can see everybody.
I'm in gallery.
Okay.
Like there's 4.
Hey, Lori.
Hey, Tamara. Where are
Hey.
you today? Oh, I'm walking my dog. I had to go deliver some things.
Gotcha.
Hey, Lori,
Hello.
Hey,
it's Mason Meyer.
Hi, Mason. So
how are
nice
you
to
doing?
meet you. Good. I'm excited to hear your story.
Thank you for having me.
So Lori is an area director out in California for FCA also.
Okay, so you're a part of our
And
California.
she's got, yeah, she's got softball in her blood.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Did you play college or?
I did. I went to the University of Oklahoma and then I transferred to Azusa Pacific.
Okay. Oklahoma is a pretty good college softball team. I'm a huge. I love watching college softball, and they make it to Oklahoma City every
Yes.
year, every time I'm watching.
I love the entire state. They're very college driven. And I
Yeah.
grew up in Oklahoma and they recruit a lot of local kids.
So I have, over meeting different people from different areas of the world or the country, I've came in contact with a lot of Midwesterns, and I swear every person I've met from the Midwest reminds me just like a person from the South. And it is their standard of living is the same. They act the same. They treat me the same. I'm like, I'm gonna move out in the Midwest whenever I'm done.
Yeah, I agree. I've been all over. I was coaching in Michigan, lived in Oklahoma, lived in Nebraska, and now California. So
Yeah.
I agree. I love it. You can wave to people driving on a dirt road and people will wave back at you.
Right. I need to get somewhere that the weather's good, because if you get too far up in Michigan or you can get some cold winters, but
Yeah, we were in the farthest north you could get before you hit Canada.
oof.
So Detroit, drive 6 hours north, and that's where I was.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
gonna be in the south part of Midwest if I could get that.
The southern Midwest.
Mhm. That's why I love Georgia so much, because I mean the weather is perfect.
Yeah. Is it humid?
Great.
It can be a little humid,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we're live on YouTube, and I'm sure that there are some that are going to watch through there. So let's go ahead and get started. I will pray for us, and then Brian, I'm just going to turn it over to you and Mason.
Okay.
Okay. Father, we just thank you for technology and the ability to be able to connect like this from 3 different states right here. And I just pray, God, that you use Mason at this time and his story, God, to impact and influence somebody, so that we can see you and see how alive you are currently, even in the midst of all of what's going on. And we just ask all this in your name. Amen. Okay.
Well, thanks for joining us on our huddle today, and it is my honor to introduce you to a kid that means a whole lot to me. They're those special kids in your life that you get to watch them kind of go through high school and into college, and they don't disappoint you, and this young man is certainly one of them. Mason Meyer is with us, and Mason, I first met Mason when he was a sophomore in high school, pitching against us from East Coweta to Noonan High School, and I'm just going to tell you it's pretty successful. I don't want to go into the details, but pretty successful. And fortunately, I was privileged enough to serve with Mason 2 years on an international mission trip with Baseball for Christ, where Mason came, represented his county and his school, and served in that country for 2 weeks. And we got to bond there. And then to see Mason go ahead and go to JUCO and then get called up and get a spot at Liberty. And just to give you some of my Mason highlights, because I stalk him because he's one of my kids. 13 games at Central Alabama. He was 5-1. He goes to Liberty. Tell me if I'm missing the memories. These are the key memories from when I've been following you. 7 2/3 over UNF to help win the conference championship in 12 innings. And then 1 run and 6 1/3 to beat UT in the first round of the NCAAs. Ain't very many people get a victory over UT in the first round of the NCAAs. So Mason, we're just going to let you share your testimony, some of the things you've been through. And it's an honor and a privilege to know you and to see how you've represented the Lord through all these seasons in your life. So enlighten us, man. I love you.
Yeah, I've been blessed to play at different levels and just have memories that I'll be able to share with guys down the road and my future kids. And I've also been able just been blessed to come with or have this journey with people that have impacted my life, like people like you and just people at high school and junior college and even here at Liberty. That's I've gone through some valleys in my life, but they've been there every step of the way. And yeah, I've been very fortunate to have those people, because without them, I don't know where I would be. And obviously family and friends. But yeah, I don't think I could have gotten over those humps in my life without those people. And I like to pour out to people so much, because again, the stuff that I've gone through and have to experience in my life. People are like, "Oh, your story's so great." Yeah, it is, but let's not forget about the people that were there every step of the way, and that really helped me. Those days where I didn't want to get out of bed, I mean, those people were right there laughing and cheering me on, and it's really encouraging when you have those type of people. I mean, it takes one voice to just say, "Hey man, I love you," or "Hey, how are you doing?" And on a day where you're just struggling in life, which is bigger than sports, that we really don't realize in this world sometimes, that, oh, he's just a baseball player, or, oh, he's just a football player. Like, yeah, but he's got a lot of things that are affecting him when he lays his head on the pillow. So yeah, I've been really blessed with those people that's poured into my life, and that's why I try to pour into people's lives so much, that I come across people on either it's new teammates or new classmates, that I want to impact every person I see, because you never know what's going on in their day or in their life.
So why don't you just tell us, I know tell us a little bit about, obviously we all want to hear the Liberty, coming to Liberty, what went on personally and how God's used you through all that.
Yeah, so I got recruited a little late. Backstory, I wanted to be a pilot in high school, my junior year, and I looked up schools that had aviation programs, and this was one of them. So Mom and I took a tour up here, and I just fell in love with the campus. Like, it felt like home. And wasn't really highly recruited out of high school, so I went to a junior college, and it was like April. It was late in our season, and they came to watch me, and it was one of those games that wasn't like a standout game, like, oh, that was one of my best games. It was kind of a okay game, and they called me the next day, and was just blessed to have an opportunity to go there for my sophomore year. And it was just, I knew I was supposed to be here when everything happened with losing my dad going into sophomore year, going into my year at Liberty, and just everybody that, I mean, I could have lost my dad before any year, but I happened to lose him the summer going into Liberty, which is one of the biggest Christian schools, which is, I mean, has so many mentors that has poured into me. And it was just crazy how God was like, okay, we're gonna have this tragic event in your life, but guess what? You're coming into the school that has so many people that will pour into your life and won't let you lose track of your focuses and what you need in your life. And it was just everything that revealed, and everything that was just like, oh, like would come into my life. And it was just like, yeah, God had me here for a reason. And and I can speak about that for days, but there's just certain incidents that's like, oh, hey, we got you under control. Like, so.
So we want to know, or I want to know, spiritually, how you've grown at Liberty. I mean, everybody talks about Liberty and the tradition, and be wanting to check out Liberty, or you're going to a Christian university. How has that helped you grow spiritually?
It's been essential to my faith. I mean, I have classes that are like biblical worldviews, and I never really had like a clear perspective on faith and God and everything. I knew about it, and I grew up in church, but it was, I mean, you have professors that their job is to teach you about a worldview that should be focused on the Bible. So taking those classes has helped me a lot. Just being around that biblical like bubble has helped me just keep me in a straight line, because you know how some colleges in this world are really tough and have a lot of distractions. So and again, the mentors, like I've had people from our shrink coaches to our team chaplains. I mean, it's kind of hard to, in a sense, slip in your faith because you have so many professors and so many with their degree is on biblical worldview or like teaching you the Bible. And I mean, you have them at your hands, like, hey, all you got to do is email a professor, and they're so personable with us. So it's like, they're not one of those like, hey, I can't talk to you. Like the professors and the GAs and everything here, and the mentors and the team chaplains, they're so, hey, how are you doing? Like, how's your life doing? They don't say, oh, you're just another person here on campus. It's really intentional. And that's where I've grown, because people actually like care about your heart. And so.
I didn't know if you wanted to talk about this or not, but I know personally what your dad meant to you. Mm-hmm. And can you walk us through that little period of time right there? I mean, I saw the video, but I know, how much you loved your dad, and your dad loved you guys, and just getting through that. Because I mean, we got kids that's going to be going through that. Obviously, that happens. So would you just kind of walk us through that, and spiritually how you navigated through that?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. Probably the hardest thing that's ever happened to me.
Just tell us about how you found out and all that.
Yeah, so it was so we have this thing called Summer Bridge. It was it's like a 3-week period in the summer where incoming athletes come in, and so it was the last night. Our coach, my assistant coach, came to my dorm, and he was like, hey, you need to call your mom. And mom was driving home from the beach, so she didn't have service, so she wasn't answering. So mom's not answering, and I was supposed to call my mom. As a kid, you're like, well, what's going on? So 15, 20 minutes go down the road, and my head coach was like, hey, this kid needs to know, like he needs to find out. My head coach actually gave me the news. And I mean, like anybody else, you're like in shock. So yeah, I mean that, and then I go home and everything. And I mean, it was just if I'm being honest, it was a part of my life where I really couldn't pick up a Bible. I mean, it was tough because I'm at a Christian school, and I'm pissed off at God. I mean, I'm not very really walking in my faith. Like it's like, hey, God, you just took one of my best friends, and it's like, what's going on here? So that I'm at first 4 to 6 months of people like, hey, just trust God. I'm like, I don't know about trusting God. Like, you see what he did in my life. But it took about a year, to really reflect on that past year of like, all right, like in the moment, I wasn't really all for God and really wanted to believe his plan and trust him. But I realized, okay, he took that person out of my life and then plugged this person in my life because this person was a better mentor, or this person could relate to me more, or so I really like stood back and was like, all right, he was actually working way more than I thought he was working. So in the moment, I'll be honest with you, I hated God, and I didn't even want to hear God. I didn't even want to go to church. But and you really can't measure the grieving process. You just can't. But a year later, as I matured and got a little smarter, I realized, okay, God was working. He was with me every step of the way, and I now trust him more than I've ever trusted him.
So stuck with you, or you had to live by, or been a motto or a theme?
A theme from I have a few stuff like are you saying in the sense of like losing my dad? Has there been
No, just in general, what would drive you? What would be a go-to for you?
I really look at like fathers that treat their sons or treat their kids even in a different way. Like I really evaluate fathers now, and I really like appreciate the role as a father. I also appreciate the role as a single parent, because I never really realized, oh, hey, single parents are they're fine, you know. Now I realize what my mom has gone through and what she's had to sacrifice. So, I mean, yeah, that. But like a theme, I mean, I've really put a lot of things in perspective. Like, there's been some stuff that like, say I get $10 stolen out of my wallet. A couple of years ago, I would be furious. Now I'm like, hey, if that person really needed that $10, God, use it. You know, like and obviously every situation, I'm not like that. Like there's some days where I'm like, what's going on? But I've really opened my perspective and been like, hey, if you need this, I'll take it off my chest. You know, like the big things that people look at and they're like, oh my gosh, when they're really very, very small in life, I've reevaluated that. Like I've appreciated life more too. I've really like, I've seen it firsthand. You don't know when your next day is. You really don't. So I've really, and again, I mean, I've just understood, and I don't know God. Like I don't know God is what everything he does and why he does it, but I've understood some stuff like, oh, he's doing this to protect me from this, you know? So yeah, I've had to grow up a lot, but I've loved every bit of it. And yeah.
Let me ask one more and then I'll let the
I have a
girls
question
go.
for you.
Go ahead.
Okay. Good. Well, I was just going to say, so that happened right before you were going to Liberty as a full-time student athlete.
Mm-hmm.
So you come home, you have to process everything at home and then pack up and go back. And that's when you're mad, right? And angry at God, and we're trying to process all that. Who or what was it? I mean, here you are at a Christian university, you know, God and the Bible and Bible studies, and, you know, your Christian friends and teammates and coaches are all around you, but that's the last thing you wanted to hear. Like, what was it that finally clicked in Mason in your heart where you're like, okay, I just need, like, you just need to accept it? Like, what was it? Was it a person? Was it just consistency in their relationships with you? Like, what was it that flipped the switch for Mason where you can be like, okay, it still sucks, but it's all for God's purpose.
Yeah, I would. So my pitching coach called me in, um, and he was like, "Hey, I know you're struggling, but guess what? When I was in college, my dad left the family, and guess who was there to help me?" I was like, "Who?" And he was our head coach, because my pitching coach played for my head coach when they were at UNC. So he was like, "Hey, I know you're struggling, but I've gone through this, and so my pitching coach and my head coach, their dads like walked away from the family, and that's when I was like, okay, I've played for a lot of coaching staffs. There's never been a coaching staff where I lost my dad the year before I played for that coaching staff. My pitching coach lost, not my pitching coach's dad is not in their family anymore, and my head coach's dad is not in their family anymore. So I was like, that was when God was like, "Hey, you're here for a reason." Number one. Number two, I think it was just my heart changed. I got to a point where I was like, okay, I can just fight God for the rest of my life, and it just can be a fight that I will never win, or I can just take that. There was a sermon. There was someone spoke, and he was talking about just like his friend like died on his watch, and he like just took the burden off of him, like took the backpack that he was wearing, that backpack that weighed so much, and he was just having that burden over and over. And he said he just gave it up to God pretty much, and it was like, hey, it was just like me throwing off 300 pounds off my back. And that's when I was like, I gave it up. I was like, all right, I surrender. Like, God, you win. And yeah, I try to, again, I just try to open my perspective. Like, when in the moment, I was mad and I was angry, but now, like, what did I learn from it? Instead of like, why God, what are you doing? What's going on? Instead of like, okay, like this happened, but what can we learn from it? And that's what I try to do in everyday life. Like, okay, you failed. So what? You're gonna fail 100 more times, but what's there to learn from it? Because I don't think any of us learn something through success. I mean, we can, but you learn more through failures. As much as we don't want to admit it, we learn a lot more through trials and tribulations. So
Let me ask you one question too. You've been fortunate enough to go on 2 international mission trips, 2 international sports mission trips with Baseball for Christ. And I want you to speak and challenge kids on doing that. FCA offers a lot of international trips, or has in the past, and just speak on the value of going on an international sports mission trip.
yeah, well, first of all, I have to thank Baseball for Christ and you for allowing me to go on 1 and 2. But yeah, it's I mean, this sounds so like cliche, but it's life changing. I mean, it really, it was one, I think it was my second trip that right before I was not wanting to go on it. If I'm being really honest, hey, I really did not want to go. I was in a low place in my life. I think I was a senior. So I was like, oh, I'm the cool kid, I'm not going on this mission trip. But I ended up going, and it saved my life. It's something that if the money's there, which if the money's not there, then call me, because we'll figure a way to get you out. I think it just gives a perspective, especially on a young kid, because I mean, a young kid like me, I haven't been, Coweta County was my bubble. So I needed something to just challenge me. And I think it just challenges kids to really realize, hey, you're freaking grateful for what you have in America. I mean, we say how great this country is, and because it is. And I mean, you go to a public high school, you get a free education. Like that's big time looking back, and you got kids that are 8, 9, 10 years old fighting for their next meal down there, and seeing it firsthand. Like, I can tell you all what I did every trip, but like experiencing it hits you a little differently. So yeah, I think it just, again, challenges young kids and young guys that, if you really want to step out your comfort zone and really care for someone more than yourself for a week, then I think it's a good step in your faith and your life. So yeah, I've been grateful to go on again too, and I'm glad I did, because it was something that I look back on and realize that Chick-fil-A meal that I just ate is nothing that I take for granted. So.
Mason, I have a question. That's exactly what I was talking about in a devotional this week of going through failures and experiences and giving God the glory. It's not fun going through it, but our testimony is so powerful. And my question to you would be, with everything that you've gone through, and even going on that missions trip unwillingly almost, what would you give advice on to these student athletes who are in quarantine or maybe have lost their season that they were really looking forward to, or even their graduations? What kind of encouragement could you give from your point of view?
Yeah, good question. So despite everything, I mean, it sucked that we lost our season, but I've realized that there's this thing called life that's a little bigger than sports. And the fact that you're breathing, the fact that you can still eat, the fact that you can sit on the couch right now and do nothing, that's your job. That's our job right now. Embrace it, embrace the grind, get outside, enjoy nature, because nature is God's creation. Enjoy your roommate's presence, enjoy people, call people, FaceTime people. Because as a student athlete, I'll just say, oh, I'm busy. Right now, I really don't have that excuse. I can't say, yeah, I don't have time, because all I got is about an hour of training, and that's about it. So if someone says they're busy right now, that's an excuse. But no, yeah, I just embrace the grind. Just enjoy your presence. Enjoy. I don't know if that, and just, yeah, enjoy life. Because yes, sports is great. Everybody wants to play till they're 50, but sports is a foundation area where we can use it to have teammates, to connect with others, to change their life. Because yeah, it's just, to me, it's fun, and I love it. I've been playing since I 3 years old, but I see more to it than just, oh, he's got a left arm, he throws hard, because I'm like, well, kid has some struggles or has some stuff in his life that he needs help with. So again, after everything with my dad, I've realized that there's this thing called life, and we need to appreciate it. And if the sports come back, cool. But if they don't, then again, just go out and help someone, do something that you you couldn't do because you're on the road traveling. And again, I'm not trying to sound like, oh, he's just having a good time, or he was having a bad season, so he's glad his season was over. No, I'm just realizing, like, and there's nothing we can do about it. Like, there's, like, people are trying to, like, change the world. Like, you can't. Just, this is a hand we were dealt. Like, just do nothing. Like, breathe. You're not going to be able to change the world. Like, we just can't. So yeah, just control what you can control, and again, enjoy enjoy what's in the moment. What's in front of your face, enjoy it right now.
Well, man, we're going to wrap up. I just want to tell you, I am enjoying the moment. It's awesome to see young men like you follow through not only on their focus and their vision, but in their spiritual walk, and then come back and be able to pour back into it. And I'm going to ask you one question, then I'll get it off here. But a lot of kids need to have a vision and a focus. Where do you see Mason Meyer 5 years from now?
Ooh, good question. I mean, now you're making me, and I'm going to retract my steps. I mean, hopefully I'm still playing, but no, it sounds so cliche, but I just, wherever God puts me, I want to just change lives. And again, if the sport lets me play, I'll play. But just continuing making connections and hopefully helping people that need help, and obviously still trying to grow my faith and learn things out of the Bible that I can apply to kids, that because I didn't really apply the Bible whenever I was younger. So as I'm growing up and maturing, I'm able to learn more things. But yeah, I mean, I like the future, but also it can be dangerous to talk about, because you start talking about the future and then you're like, oh, I would love to make 6 figures and have this job and be in this house. And it's like, and God's like knocking on the door, is like, hey buddy, you slow down there, slow down, because yeah, just be patient, because I got you. So yeah, I mean, again, I need a future, or I need that plan, that 5-year plan, but also I've been really working to just stay present, stay in the moment. And if you work through that process and just be in the moment, then the future is going to take care of itself. It's like you create habits and results will come. You start creating your results and you don't have any habits, and you're not doing anything. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really like to get too far in the future, just because, like I said, it can be dangerous to talk about and dangerous to think about, because you get too far ahead of yourself and you can't even walk. You can't even put your foot next to, ahead of you. So you're just playing with fire when it becomes consuming you too much, But yeah, I would love to. I'm a turn the car off and let God go, because I don't really know where I want to be in 5 years or do, but I know I want to love and help others. That's all. If that's enough for you, that's all.
I think you got a great 5-year plan. You've been blessed with wisdom that a lot of people much older than you don't have, man.
I appreciate that.
You have been a good student.
You need to say hey to your mama and your grandparents, because they're watching.
Hey mom, hey Jojo and Dee Dee. Thank y'all for watching.
Hey, yeah, and you're blessed with a great family support. They love the game. They see him everywhere. They've become part of family. Any baseball family they've been a part of, and I know that's a part of you. So we want to thank you for being on us and blessing us, being here with us, and promise us when you're in Coweta County, you'll come and speak to our kids in person. They need role models like you. Be in front of them.
Thank y'all so much. And if you need anything else, you let me know.
Hey, don't say that too quick. We'll wear you out. I'm sorry.
No, you got all my time.
Lori will wear you out. She's at a different time, so we'll make.
That's right.
Let me pray for you, man. Thank you so much. I love you like my own son. You know that. And we've been through some stuff, some fun stuff too, man.
Yes, sir.
So let me pray and we'll let you go. Mason, have a great day. We love you. Let me pray us out.
Will do.
Heavenly Father, I thank you for young student athletes like Mason that assure us the future is bright. I thank you for the wisdom you've given him. I thank you for the struggles you've placed in his life and the obedience to learn from them. I thank you for the challenges that you give him and the opportunity to grow. For Mason, as you use him in ways that we couldn't, pray for his family and that you still be present in their lives and his life and all we say and all we do. In your name we pray. Amen. Love you, Mason
Amen.
Myers.
Love you.
Thank you,
Thank y'all.
Mason.